closing comments, and then following him, Ms. Naomi Milliner will have some closing comments to do with the Garrett Historical Society. And I do want to say that it is so important, and it might seem like I'm gushing over WJPN, but because of the coverage that Public Access Channel has done for the Fifth Sunday Forums, and Ken, it wasn't a bad thing to say Fifth Avenue, because we're on Fifth Avenue with this main library, so both apply. And matter of fact, Ken Stalling has always been an intelligent contributor to our forums. He's been a panelist in previous forums. But I want to say that I've had friends in Indianapolis, Chicago, and other neighboring cities, I was telling Ms. Caesar earlier, that heard about these forums and the dialogue we had because of Public Access. And also I want to say, whether you love them or hate them, there's a representative from the Post-Tribune. They've always given us fair and good coverage about our Fifth Sunday Forums, many times landing on A2, A3 about our forums. So we're appreciative of that. So like Ms. Smith said, you know, the media can very well help, and I think dialogues and discussions and debates such as today's can help. And I'd like to thank everyone again for coming out. I'd like to thank our panelists, appreciative of you participating on the Sunday. And now I'll turn things over to my brother Stephen for his closing comments.
Just before Naomi takes us on out, in closing, today's discussion on the media and race did not raise any definitive answers or any undisputable conclusions, because the truth of this issue is simply too complicated. But it was still a discussion worth having. It is clear that there remains racist ideology, dialogue, and hostility on both sides of the racial spectrum. However, even though blacks can have racist attitudes towards whites, blacks as a collective are not the dominant culture in America, and therefore do not have the systematic power to translate that attitude into racist outcomes or discriminatory resource allocations. However, there are 3 books that point out our trends in our culture that help illuminate the problem and offer solutions and hope to media and race relations. First, right here at the Gary Public Library, main branch. I think this book is in all branches. It is called The Black Image in the White Mind by Robert M. Entman and Andrew Rojecki, which I might add was published in the year 2000 at the height of major U.S. economic prosperity. This book predicted that the social alienation in our country threatens mass media's long-term profitability, which every panelist has brought up. It's all about the profit. Moreover, this book points out that the conditions of high alienation and cynicism about society's collective ability to solve problems through democratic deliberation, and political action reduce the size of news audiences. Deteriorating social trust diminishes the overall financial wealth of society. This reduces the money consumers have to spend on all products, especially media, because advertising revenues go down. And of course, as you all know, mass media makes its money off of mass media marketing, i.e. McDonald's, Sears, Pizza Hut, Walmart, General Motors, etc. Now listen to this very carefully. This is the best prediction in the book. Remember, this was published in the year 2000. It says mass media will be replaced in the new millennium by niche media, perhaps targeted down to the level of the individual. This book predicted that broadband internet connection would indeed tailor-make the news, entertainment, and advertising to the individual. Secondly, the book The Long Tail by Chris Anderson. This came out in May of 2006. I said ban this when it first came out. It points out how Amazon, eBay, and Netflix prospered heavily because of niche marketing. For instance, if you buy a book on Amazon, the site will say, since you like this book, Stephen, you're probably going to like this book also. The site becomes tailor-made to you. That is why things are now called MySpace. You too. You do what you want to do, as Ken Stalling said. Not what mass media tells you to do. You find news. as Rachel has pointed out. You find the news that supports you and ennobles you and empowers you. You download your music. You choose the song on the CDs you want to listen to. You choose the books you want to read according to your specific moods and tastes. So if current individual trends persist, mass media continues to lose profits. We'll probably see our mass media improve in its ability to bring about better understanding along racial lines. Case in point, mass media, probably the most popular show in mass media, Grey's Anatomy. Why? Because it smacks social alienation in the face by depicting people of all races as competent, intelligent, well-respected professionals, working together and even hanging out after work. Thirdly, the book, right here in the Gary Public Library, The World is Flat, by New York Times columnist Thomas L. Friedman, which was published in 2005. The author points out that global telecommunications has made the world smaller. As Ken Stalling mentioned out, one word. The negative aspect of globalization has obviously been the loss of jobs in the U.S. due to outsourcing. We all know that. However, global communications and the internet have leveled the playing field. Hence, the world is flat. Information does not discriminate. Information via the search engine Google these gentlemen. All right, Google. All right, Google is available to all of us, regardless of race, creed, or ethnicity. If anyone has access to an internet via broadband, dial-up, internet cafe, and can just type a little bit, then they'll have access to practically anything they want to know about. Furthermore, this is key. If you do something bad or that contributes to social alienation, your name will probably come up on Google as having done something bad. Do you notice that when a celebrity does or says something racist, be it Mel Gibson, Michael Richards, Don Imus, Isaiah Washington, is usually exposed by the internet first. Then it goes to mass media. Isn't it interesting that when famous people are exposed, they then apologize and ask for forgiveness? Isn't some of our most popular religions beliefs based on redemption? Asking for forgiveness? Listen to this. This is in The World is Flat. The headquarters in Google has a globe that spins constantly and emits light beams based on the volume of people searching Google. As one gentleman points out in the book, this is so key, in The World is Flat. Google is like God. God is wireless. God is everyone, everywhere, and God is everything. He sees everything. Finally, in the 20th century, Gary was called the city of the century. As our panelists have pointed out so eloquently, as all of our audience members have brought to the forefront, let us continue with that name in the 21st century by making sure all of our citizens, and especially our youth, are connected and have access to information that not only entertains them, but ennobles and empowers them. The early part of this century is informing us some powerful lessons. First, we are all connected in some way. Because the world is not small, it is tiny. And if our community, society, and world is to prosper, we must live our lives open, honestly, and with integrity, and get along with each other. It is clear that you get from the world what you give to the world. Thank you for all coming, and remember, if it's the 5th Sunday, it's the 4th.
Now, Miss Naomi Millender.